and welcome to State Champs Face-Off. This is the high school lacrosse show here in the state of Michigan. My name is Lauren Plant. Sean Baligian and the coach Greg Durham will be along shortly. Sean and Greg this week will interview Detroit Catholic Central head coach Dave Wilson and preview the top boys and girls games coming up. But first, State Champs Face-Off is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Over 24 NAIA Division II level varsity sports offered here at Lawrence Tech. This, of course, includes men's and women's lacrosse. The NAIA Women's National Championships will be at LTU this season, May 4th through the 7th. Come check it out. The Blue Devil women are currently ranked number 1 in the nation. You can recruit yourself by visiting LTUathletics.com. We've got some game highlights on the network right now. Let's recap. We begin with Clarkston going on the road to take on the Cranes from Cranbrook Kingswood. First game of the season for Clarkston, and they were led by Evan McClory. He notched a team-high 4 goals as the Wolves go on to win 11-7 the final. Next, 2 top 10 teams as number 5 Detroit Country Day went up against 7th-ranked Brighton. The Yellow Jackets in control from start to finish. Senior Parker Urigo was on fire. Game-high 6 tallies. Yellow Jackets buzz Brighton 17-5. We had another OAA Catholic League clash as Lake Orion went toe-to-toe with Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Tied at 1 after the opening quarter, Lake Orion outscored the Eaglets 7-2 the next 2 periods to go up 8-3 heading into the 4th. OLSM came back to make it an 8-7 contest, but Lake Orion would hang on to win by a goal for its first victory of the young season. And to a recent contest in girls lacrosse, Bloomfield Hills at home to take on Livonia United. Back and forth tussle in the first half, game tied at 5 into intermission, stayed that way into the second half. Later in the contest, game tied at 9. Blackhawks would get goals by Rachel Shepard and Abby Sung as Bloomfield Hills hangs on to win 11-9 the final. Hey guys, we're always trying to help you get a leg up on the competition with our Game Changer segment sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center's Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine team. This one, you have to see to believe. Those of you who believe a little sugar jolt can help you perform, it's quite the opposite.
Hi, I'm Laura Ramos with DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. And today on Game Changers, I'm going to show you how simple sugars negatively affect your athletic performance. Regardless of your sport, you need 3 things to fuel your muscles before you train, to optimize performance and to facilitate recovery. These 3 things are carbohydrates, proteins, and water. Today, we're going to focus on complex carbohydrates. These are made up of starch, sugar, and fiber. They're things like fruit, vegetables, nuts, and even dairy products. Simple sugars, on the other hand, are just that. They're only sugars: sucrose, glucose, and fructose. I'm here with Giovanna from Utica High School, and we're going to look at complex carbohydrates and how they are the best energy source, and the difference between simple sugars and complex carbohydrates effect on strength. So we're going to start out by strength training Giovanna's shoulders. She's going to push as hard as you can against me. Don't let me break you. Perfect. Now go ahead and sit on up. I'm going to have her take just some simple sugar, and she's going to eat some of that right now. Okay, good. Now we'll let her go ahead and finish that, and then she's going to lay back down in the exact same position she was just in. We're going to re-strength train her and see what effect the simple sugar just has on her strength. Arms up. Okay, hold as hard as you can. No, I said hold as hard as you can. Ready? Hold as hard as you can. Giovanna, hold as hard as you can. Okay. Now, we're going to see what effect complex carbohydrates have on her strength. Giovanni has some grapes. She's going to eat 1 or 2 grapes right now. And then as soon as she eats those grapes, we're going to have her lay back down and retest her strength. We know that complex carbohydrates are made up of those starches, sugars, and fibers, and they give us our greatest long-lasting stamina or strength. Arms are back up straight. And now hold me as hard as you can. Ready? Hold, 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 hold. Ready? Go. I can't push you down, can I? Hold, hold, hold. Good. So you can see that negative effect that simple sugars just has on your strength. Before any workout, it's best then to eat complex carbohydrates about 2 to 4 hours beforehand to sustain your energy. Post-workout, make sure you consume those complex carbohydrates within 30 to 60 minutes. This is critical for muscle repair. For more sports performance tips, or to make an appointment with a DMC physical therapist or orthopedic specialist, visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Then go where the pros go. DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. For immediate care, call 313-910-9328 or visit dmc.org/gamechangers. All right, time now to get the stars of our show on the air, the one and only Sean Baligian and the coach, Greg Durham. Floor is yours, fellas.
Thanks, as always, Lauren. It is another edition of Face Off here with the coach, Coach Durham from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We've got another coach joining us. Stay tuned for that. Coach Wilson from Catholic Central going to join us. But Coach Durham, as always, a pleasure to see you, a pleasure to chat with you. How are you, sir?
Hey, everything's pretty good. Had a nice long weekend with some games, and went 1-1 on Saturday, and I'll talk about the Thursday game in a second. But it was pretty good. It was good. I think one of the best things I did, I'll talk about that in a little bit, was I actually went and helped out a local youth program on Sunday night. Gave some of my time, and it's a local community that I live in, and it was a really good experience. I worked with another friend of mine who Coach Wilson knows really well as well. And we just it was great to see a lot of kids out there learning the game of lacrosse, and it's just fantastic. I love it. But to get down to the recap, so let's talk about Clarkston. Beat a good Cranbrook team. It was a very close game, 11-7. I watched that game on film, but I'll tell you what, Clarkston is a really good team. We played them this weekend. We lost by 2. They're really talented. They have great athletes, good defense, solid goalie. They have it all. They're going to be the tough team to beat in Division I eventually down the line here. Lake Orion, I had the pleasure to play them. Ron Hebert, one of the legends in the game. Great game. They were up like 8-3. All of a sudden, my team decided to play. When I came back, scored 3 unanswered goals within like 3 minutes. We get the face off with 7 seconds left. I take a timeout, set up a play. Didn't work, but we gave ourselves a chance. Great game. It's always a great game when I play Lake Orion. Tough, physical, up and down. Just one of those games that you just love coaching. But it was a great week of lacrosse. It's only going to get better. We go on spring break this week, as well as CC and Rice and De La Salle and some of the other schools. The west side of the state comes off spring break, so they're going to get it ramped back up.
So many good things going on all over the great state of Michigan in this great game of lacrosse. And a guy that's doing a lot of great things, Coach Durham, is a special guest with us this week.
Yes, I invited one of my good friends and competitors, Dave Wilson, the head coach of Detroit Catholic Central. Willie, how are you, man? Everything good?
Good. How are you today?
Good. Awesome. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
Sean, you want to start, or you want me to start?
Yeah, you know what? First things first, let's talk about how the season is going so far, Coach. You're off to a good start. Correct me if I'm wrong. 5-1 to start the season. What do you like about your team?
Yeah, it is a good start. It's that's a lot. It seems like we're playing a lot more on the front side than everyone else, so you never know what you're going to get. We're doing pretty good on the defensive end. The ball's going in a bit more on the offensive end. We're still trying to figure some stuff out. It usually takes most of the regular season to find out what you really have and try to get your line set up and whatnot. I'm very pleased. It's a really fun group.
Yeah, Dave, one of the things that I notice is the absolute change from your team this year from last year. And what I notice is the athleticism. I mean, you guys are flying around the field. You have a great face-off guy. Well, you've always had a great face-off guy. Let's just put it that way. But you're definitely, your defense is solid. I've seen that. I haven't seen you live, but I've seen you on film, as we all do. But what's the difference between maybe previous years to this year?
Well, thanks. Yeah, last year I think was just sort of unusual. I don't know. It seems like, and Bull and I, you and I talked about this the other night. It just seems like I don't want to blame things on COVID, but everything just seemed to get really weird. If you look around the state, there's a lot of the stick skills were down. Yeah, I don't know. So last year just seemed kind of like a blip. It happened. A great group of kids. Things just didn't seem to completely fall together. Although, I don't want to sound like a jerk. I mean, we still made it to the Final Four, so it's not like, it's sound like a pampered chef over here. But but they work hard. We have gone are the days where this old guy used to go in the weight room and be like, oh, here's the program, here's what we're doing. And then, I do speed training and all this stuff. And it's like, you live at as a teacher here, you live at the school pretty much anyway. And then doing all the other stuff besides coaching, it was tough. So, we've had, the school has hired trainers, and then, I get to have personal conversations with them. I go over the schedule and I said, this is what we're trying to do. And he says, well, when would you like this to happen? Like May 1st. And I'm like, March 15th. We want to be, we want to be fighting ready and fighting shape, ready to go. So that's a credit to just like the strength program. Conditioning, which speaks to some of the things that Bull was talking about. The guys just able to get up and down the field. It's a game of movement. So you have to be able to to move. So we're very fortunate with that, and looks like the kids are having a lot of fun with all that.
Hey, if you want to hear more of the conversation, make sure that you head on over to Spreaker.com and just search State Champs Face-Off. Some big games coming up this week, as you mentioned, the West Side back in action. And what a dandy Thursday at Rockford. How about EGR and Rockford, 7 o'clock on the West Side, Coach?
I'm really curious because both have new head coaches. So both lost great head coaches. And I think they're just trying to figure themselves out, but it should be a dandy. It's a good West Side matchup. EGR's Division II. Rockford's Division I. Like I said, it should be a great game. And then Saturday, Country Day, who's in the top 5, no doubt. They play at Midland, and Midland is a very good team. I mean, they're very good. They're up. They should be in the top 10. They're right there. So Country Day has to travel up to good old Dow and play Midland. That should be a dandy. We'll see how that goes for them. And then girls, Forest Hills Northern Eastern, the unified team is at Rockford. That is Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Rockford always has a great girls program. And then we have Rockford at Brighton on Saturday at 12 p.m. That should be a great game because that Brighton team, that girls Brighton team, is really, really good.
It was really cool, coaches. Some people were very kind to us last week on Twitter and said, thanks for talking about the girls' game. And, my response to that was, of course, it's lacrosse. I think it's great. We're talking about lacrosse here, and there's a great product with the boys and a great product with the girls. And gleefully, we're going to talk about it. It's lacrosse.
Absolutely. And I plan on our next guest next week will be a girls coach from a high school program. We really need to spread the wealth here. We need to keep, getting the community involved. Let's continuously grow this great game, whether it's girls or guys, which are both great games, completely different, but great games. And that's what we need to do. And that's what I want to do. I want to advocate for both sides of it. I watch one, I coach the other. It's great. So that's where I'm at.
Great stuff. Always a pleasure chatting with you, Coach Durham. Special thanks as well to Coach Wilson, Chuck, and John behind the scenes. For everybody involved, my name is Sean Baligian. Thanks once again for joining us for another edition of Face Off here on the State Champs Network. Goodbye, everybody.
State Champs Face-Off is presented by Lawrence Technological University. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports. Visit ltuathletics.com and recruit yourself. Face-Off is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards. Stay tuned for the announcement of this year's 12 nominees coming soon. Who will be this year's Male and Female Athletes of the Year? Find out live Monday, June 6th, only on the State Champs Michigan Network. U.S. Navy recruiting, call 313-315-2560 and talk to a local officer to find out how the Navy can take you anywhere from the sea to the stars. Oakland School's technical campuses are designed for any student who wants to graduate high school with industry certifications, on-the-job experiences, business connections, and college credits. Check them out at ostconline.com.